In the ancient Near East, the ultimate family trust fund was known as the Bakora, or the birthright. If you were the firstborn son, the Bakora guaranteed a double portion of wealth and absolute leadership. It was the unquestioned rule of societal order. Jacob was born second, but spent his early life scrambling to bypass that rule and seize the prize for himself. He didn't do it gracefully. He bought the birthright from his older brother Esau for a bowl of lentil soup, and later he literally wore a disguise to trick his blind father into giving him the primary blessing. This map shows the geographical fallout of those deceptions. Following the dotted line from Paddan Aram down toward the region of Shechem and Bethel, we can trace Jacob's long, high-stakes return journey back to his father's land after decades of fearful exile. For most of his life, Jacob's identity was defined by a chaotic, deceptive rebellion against his society's most basic rule of inheritance. Fast forward to the end of his life. Jacob is 147 years old, his vision is failing, and he lies on his deathbed in Egypt. It is finally his turn to pass the ultimate blessing down to the next generation, specifically to the two sons of his favorite child, Joseph. The tension in the room revolves around how he will do it. Will the dying patriarch stick to the traditional rules to keep the peace, or will his chaotic nature break out again? This moment serves as the final test of Jacob's character. The lifelong deceiver holds ultimate power, and he must choose how to hand it over. His son Joseph brings his two boys to the bed. By this point, Joseph is a high-ranking Egyptian administrator, accustomed to extreme order. He brings Manasseh, the older firstborn, and Ephraim, the younger secondborn. By non-negotiable tradition, the patriarch's right hand acts as the conduit for the primary blessing. Whoever receives the right hand inherits the highest authority. Joseph deliberately blocks the room so no mistakes are made. He physically places the older Manasseh at Jacob's right hand and the younger Ephraim at his left. Joseph has engineered the space to perfectly uphold human tradition, guaranteeing a smooth, undisputed transfer of power. The blind Jacob reaches his hands out toward the boys to finalize the blessing. Then he does something that completely shocks the room. He deliberately and very slowly crosses his frail arms over one another. His right hand of power lands on the younger Ephraim, and his left hand lands on the older Manasseh. With one silent physical gesture, Jacob shatters the strict societal expectation that Joseph just spent so much effort organizing. Joseph is immediately upset. He assumes his aging, blind father has made a senile mistake. He steps in and grabs his father's hand, trying to physically force it uncrossed. He tells Jacob, "No, my father, this one is the firstborn. Put your right hand on his head." But Jacob refuses to move. He simply replies, "I know, my son, I know." This chart visualizes Jacob's prophecy. He states while Manasseh will grow into a great people, the younger Ephraim will achieve vastly greater future influence, becoming the dominant northern tribe. Jacob's refusal to uncross his arms proves he acts with absolute prophetic resolve. Look closely at the shift in Jacob's character here. He isn't tricking anyone, and he isn't wearing a disguise. Instead of hiding his actions, he is openly and peacefully subverting the traditions of his day. A lifetime of wrestling with God taught him a difficult lesson. God's favor operates through grace, not through rigid societal rules. The man who spent his youth trying to steal the blessing has finally learned how to truly give it away. His character arc is complete. In the immediate historical aftermath of this room, Ephraim and Manasseh are permanently elevated to the status of full, distinct tribes within Israel.
But beyond the family tree, this moment establishes a theological truth we see repeated throughout the rest of the biblical text. God's economy is based on divine calling. He consistently reaches past the hierarchies humans build to choose the unlikely candidate. A moment of wonder. Those crossed arms remain a lasting visual reminder that God's grace almost always overturns human expectations.